and welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today is the 4th of July, and what am I doing? I'm in my craft room. Well, anyways, today's video, I am just bringing you some items that I've been wanting to create for a little while now, and I finally got around to it. So there's no real theme, just a mix of different items. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brenda. For those of you who are not new, welcome back. And with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, so the first DIY is this party cup holder, and I start out with these 2 crates from the Dollar Tree, these 2 signs, these 2 square blocks that I got from Hobby Lobby, and some tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. And I start off by just using some wood glue and some hot glue on the sides of those crates, and then just gluing them together. Then I take one of those signs, and I'm going to do the same thing with the glue, the hot glue and the wood glue, and attach that to the long side of those crates. And once that was on there, I'm going to do the same thing with one of those square pieces of wood. I'm going to use the wood glue and the hot glue. Again, the wood glue is for the permanent hold, and the hot glue is for immediate hold. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other 2 pieces until you have a box like that. And then I'm going to take 2 of these blocks, and I'm going to hot glue them together. And I made 6 of those. And once I got them together, with the hot glue and the wood glue, I glued 2 of the 2-piece sticks together. Then I'm taking a 3rd piece of those Jenga blocks, and I'm going to glue it on top, just like you see there. Kind of makes like a V shape. And then I'm going to do the same with the wood glue and the hot glue, and just I'm putting it on both sides or ends, I don't know how you would say that, of that block there, and then attach them to the corner. And that is where you will put your pins. And I make 2 of those, 1 for each side. Then I took it outside, and I used that spray paint there that I showed you to spray paint the whole thing. Then I took my ruler, and I'm just measuring off 1-inch marks there every inch, making a mark every inch. That's a better way to say it. And then I'm going to just draw lines with my L ruler there, or square ruler, whatever you call it. I'm drawing vertical lines on each one of those inch lines that I made. Then I made this sign on Cricut, and it says, mark your cup and drink up. And instead of spelling out cup, I just made a sign, or I'm sorry, a cup. I just picked one from the Cricut design space and added that to my saying. And then once I get this transfer tape off, I will have my sign all on there. And now I've been wanting to make one of these for quite a while now, and I made this for our family reunion that we were having. And I think it's just a lot of fun. If you find these, usually they're brown. So you could make this any way you wanted. You could, stain it brown or use the Waverly wax, antique wax, or you can paint it any color you want. So then I took some of that faux leather ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I am just putting one on each side just to kind of cover up some of the edging there, because those square wood pieces were just a tad short, but I couldn't find anything else in my stash that would fit it. So I did that on each one of those sides. So there was 8 pieces of that ribbon that I cut out, and then I just hot glued them onto those sides. And then once I was done with that, I decided to put some little feet on the bottom. So I took 4 of those little white beads. I think I got those at Hobby Lobby. I'm not 100% sure. I've had them for a little while. And I just hot glue them onto the bottom to give it some little feet so they can stand. And then I took some of these half beads. I took 3, I think they're 12 millimeters, and 3 15 millimeters. And I'm just painting them with my Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson. And once they were dry, I used some hot glue and I just glued them onto the sides of the front. And I did a large bead and a smaller bead and then a large bead. And again, you can just do whatever you like, whatever is your taste. You know, if you want to put all the same size on there, you can do that. You don't even have to put any on if you don't want. And then I just took some more of that red paint and I am just outlining the whole top of the cup holder all the way around. And I believe I even did some on the pin holders that are in there as well. Now, originally I was going to put the pin holders on the back, but then when I put the sign on and stuff, I realized that I had put it on the wrong side. But it still works out. I like it. I like how it came out, and there it is. Okay, so if you're new here, welcome. I love to do home decor as well as holiday decor, thrift flips, and gift ideas, and sometimes a Dollar Tree haul. So if you like that, I would love it if you would become part of our family and hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. So the next item is this cute little laundry sign. So I used one of those tag pictures from the Dollar Tree, a galvanized sign, and 2 5-gallon paint sticks, 2 regular paint sticks, and then that wall decal from the Dollar Tree as well. And of course I start off by taking the hangers off of those signs. I use my Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, and I just paint the back of that sign. Now I don't paint all of it because I know some of it's going to be covered up, but I was just at the end of that bottle of paint, so I just put on as much as I could get out, and then painted mostly the top portion that's going to be not covered. And then when it is done, I can't remember what I did. If you hear any background noise, I am sorry. I am having to record this in my living room, so you may hear the dogs or the husband or, you know, who knows what else. So there I was just measuring out where I needed those smaller paint sticks, and I showed 2 here, but I actually ended up using 3. So I cut them down to the size I needed, and I take that Waverly antique wax, and I'm using a baby wipe to just smear it onto those paint sticks. And I did that to all 3 of the smaller paint sticks as well as the larger paint sticks. And I just do it on one side. I didn't do it on both sides. And then once those were drying, I took that Fix-All super glue from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to put that along those ridges of the corrugated metal sign. And I do most of it with that super glue, and then I'm going to use some hot glue on the bottom. And we know that hot glue doesn't really like metal, but it was mainly there to keep it in place while I was adding the sticks to this sign. So once I had that attached, I set it aside, and I guess I don't set it aside. I grab my small paint sticks, and I am just hot gluing them on to that board, one at the top, one above the corrugated sign, and then one below on that little rounded area of the sign that was poking out from underneath that corrugated sign. And then after that, I took the 2 5-gallon stir sticks, and I'm going to use wood glue, and I attach it with wood glue, and then of course I'm going to put some clamps on there to keep it together, and then I let that sit overnight before I took the clamps off. And then once I get those all in place and clamped, I will do the other side the same way. And then I took this sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's a wall decal, and I took out the laundry, and as you see there, it was kind of crooked, and then it ripped when I was taking it off, but no problem because I was able to put it right back together. So I just was able to take that off, straighten it out, and then add the ripped part right where it belongs, and you can't even tell it ripped. And so I'm just gonna stick that onto the wood board, and the Y just kind of overlapped that paint stick a little bit. And then I'm going to take the bottom part of that sign. It says sort tomorrow, wash later, dry soon, fold, maybe, and iron, get real. I hate ironing, so I loved that sign. I thought it was funny. And then I let it set, and then the next day I took some of those clothespins and I just used the Waverly wax on them like I did with the paint sticks, and then I'm hot gluing them on to the wood paint stick. And then I decided they needed a little something more, so I added some jute twine bows to each one of those. I'm just hot gluing them on there. And then, of course, I trimmed down the legs, didn't want them too long. And then once I did that, I took some of this burlap ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm hot gluing one on the top and then one on that middle painter stick. And then I put a bow at the top as well. I just thought it needed just a little something else. And I love this ribbon. They have a couple designs on it, and I just love them. I just think they're so cute. And then once that was done, oh, something I didn't show, I guess, was I did do a little distressing along that sign as well with the antique wax. And then here I just took some jute twine and tied some knots on the ends, and then I'm hot gluing them to the back of that sign so that it can be a hanger. And then I took this bag and cut it down to size, and I'm hot gluing it to the back so that it covers that Easter sign. And then once I did that, that was that for that project. And then we have a cute little laundry room sign. And these items that I created today, they're not for any specific reason. Like I said before, it was just some things that I've been wanting to make for a while. And I finally did. I can't believe I thought I edited this part out, but I guess not. So here I am just trimming down some of that bag. And I'm sorry, you guys. I thought I had cut this out. So who knows what happened. And we should be done here shortly. Oh my goodness, you guys. I can't believe this was still here. Oh well, what can you do, huh? There it is. I think it came out looking really super cute, and I just love it. I think it came out really cute. Now that sign, the decal did say room, and I tried to fit it on there, but it wouldn't fit. So I thought it still looked good, because you know that is how laundry works, right? And there is the final project. Okay, DIY number 3. Now, I got this idea from She's So Crafty as well as Kirkland's, and I start off with the candlestick, that candle holder, some of those racetracks that from the Dollar Tree, and some half beads. And I saw, if you haven't seen She's So Crafty do this yet, you'll have to check her out. I'll put a link to that video in my description box. But I started off by using that fix-all glue, and I just put it all around the bottom part of that candle holder and attached it to the candlestick. And then I took some of these race car tracks, and I used my heat gun, and I just put it on it for a little bit to kind of help soften that plastic so it would bend a little easy. But you want to be careful you don't make it be a little crooked there. So then I took some hot glue and I hot glued this on. Now, something in my gut told me not to use hot glue. I even asked my husband what he thought. He thought it would work, but I just kept thinking I shouldn't use hot glue, and I shouldn't have, because it only temporarily worked. So once I get this all hot glued on, I do hot glue the tops together as well. Then I took these round pieces that I got off of Facebook Marketplace, these little wood pieces, and I glued 2 of them together, and then I'm going to hot glue them to the top of the top race car track there. And then once I get that on, I have these little dowel caps that I got from Walmart, and I'm just tracing. I measured it out where I wanted it, and I traced it, and then I'm going to hot glue that onto the top as well. Then I took some of these half beads. I think I had 10 on each side, and I'm just going to hot glue them all the way down each row of those tracks. Then I went out to spray paint it, and this is what happened. It totally came apart. I was so frustrated. I was almost in tears. So after spending, I don't know, half hour or so pulling off all the hot glue off the candlestick holder and the race car tracks, then I took some super glue and my accelerant that I have, and I put the super glue actually on the candle holder as well as the bottom of those race car tracks. And then I just sprayed it with that accelerator and held it there for about 10 seconds, and it stuck really good. So if you're going to try this, I would recommend not using hot glue, but use super glue. And I will put a link to that accelerant in my description box as well. Then once that was all done, I went and respray painted it because I had marks everywhere on it. And then what I'm doing here is I took a small brush because I could still kind of see a little bit of that orange in the crevices. And I just took that small paintbrush and just kind of filled in those crevices with some white chalk paint. Then I used my Elephant Waverly chalk paint, and I am going to do some distressing all over the beads, the racetracks, the candlesticks, the top, everything, just because I like the distressing. Now, my mom wants me to make her one and not do any distressing because she doesn't like distressing. So hers will be just plain white. So you can do whatever you like. But if you do recreate this, I would suggest maybe painting inside the crevices with some white paint before you add those little beads. It would make it a little easier, I believe. And then add the beads and then take it all out and spray paint it. So then once I get done with all of this distressing, I think I took some, I believe it's eucalyptus that I got from, I think it was Amazon. And I honestly don't remember if it's eucalyptus or if it is the boxwood. But they come apart and you can attach them. So I'm just making like a ring with them. And I stuck one of my candles, not the real candles, but the fake candles in there. And then I am just going to wrap that greenery around the candle plate there, and I just think it came out so cute, and I absolutely love this. In fact, I want to make more. I just think they are so pretty. And again, I got the idea from Dee with She's So Crafty, and as well as Kirkland's has something that's real similar too, and I just kind of combined the two. And there's that. And then for the last DIY, I've been wanting to make a blanket basket, and this is what I did. So I took that laundry basket from Dollar Tree, that tablecloth from Dollar Tree, some jute cord that I got from Walmart, and then the nautical rope from Dollar Tree. Now I put this tablecloth in, and I put it in the wrong way, because as you see, you can look in and see the back side of the tablecloth. And as I was wrapping it with the rope, I realized it. So I just took what I had left over and added it on top of that. So you want the pretty side to be on the looking out from the inside, if that makes sense. Then I just took the edges and I hot glued it all the way around. Now you want to be really careful when you hot glue it, because that is more paper than fabric and it can burn it. So you don't want to put tons on. And then I am just adding hot glue to the bottom of the basket, and I'm just going around in circle with that rope. And I just put the hot glue on every part of the basket. I know there's a lot of holes, but I just make sure that it's on the plastic, and then I just wrap the rope around, and I just continue that all the way around the bottom. And then once I got to the edge, I did the same thing. I just added the hot glue, and I just pushed the rope up so that the hot glue kind of goes in between the new piece of rope and the other piece of rope. Then I took this burlap lace that I got from Amazon. I'll give you guys a link to that as well. And I am hot gluing it on. I went about halfway up with that rope, and then I'm adding this ribbon. And I'm letting the black lace overlap that ribbon. I'm sorry, the rope, so that it kind of covers that. And then what I'm gluing on is the actual burlap part to the plastic laundry basket. And I do that all the way around to the end. And then I just cut it and I fold in the piece that got cut. I just fold the end in a little bit, hot glued it together, and then glued it to the end that was the starting point of the ribbon. I hope that makes sense. And then once I was done doing that, I lifted up the bottom part of that lace, and then I just started adding the hot glue onto the basket, and I added the nautical rope as well. My first intention was actually I was going to paint the rope. I was going to spray paint it black. And I was thinking of putting a different trim on this, but then I remembered I had this lace, and when I put it up to see if I liked it, I absolutely fell in love with it. So then here I'm just going around with some more of that burlap lace, and I am just going all around the rim of that basket with this lace. And again, you want to be careful not to put too much hot glue, because it does start kind of melting that tablecloth, because it's really more paper than it is cloth. And then there you'll see I just hot glued the end. I folded it into itself and then hot glued it over the other end. And that's that. It was super easy, and it's so cute, and I can't wait to start putting my blankets in it. I just love it. So that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment box below what was your favorite. And if you're new here, I hope you subscribed, and let me know if you are new. I'd love to get to know you. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I think I might be doing shabby chic for next week. I know I had a viewer ask about that, and I've been kind of thinking about it. So we will see what I come up with for next week. But you guys have a great week, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.